What's going on, guys? This is Grilled Cheese here, and today I'm coming at you with a game of Domination Ground War on Jungle. But today I'm not going to talk about the gameplay. I'm going to talk about my favorite game of all time, Dungeons & Dragons. That's right. My favorite game is D&D. And if any of you are schooled in newer like fantasy games and stuff like that, you should know that all new fantasy games got its roots from D&D. And D&D got its roots from possibly one of the best series of books written of all time, the Tolkien books, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and things like that. Dungeons & Dragons took a lot of inspiration from them. And in newer games today, like Dragon Age Origins and World of Warcraft and all of these other games, all these other like high fantasy style games, you can see the Dungeons & Dragons influence in them. Today I want to tell you guys a story about my first serious D&D character, an elf wizard in the 3.5 edition. And man, I loved the shit out of that character, dude. It was so fun. We played for about a year and a half in my group, and man, I can't even tell you how much fun I had with that character. So I'm kind of what some people in the D&D community would call an optimizer or power gamer. I really liked to build my characters to be as strong as they could be for their particular strength. And so this wizard, I really wanted to deal as much damage as I possibly could, and I achieved that. Like Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 went up to level 20, and then you could play after that, but things got all crazy and rules got all changed and stuff like that. But we were only about level 7, I think, when the campaign ended. We played for a year and a half, but man, it was the best. It was so fun. I met somebody who I still play D&D with today in that campaign, and it was a great guy, my buddy Craig, and so I built this wizard to be as strong of a damage character as I possibly could, and I used to go into combat encounters and just demolish shit. Like beyond all reckoning, I could one-shot most regular mobs, and I could two or three shot most elite style mobs, like most hardcore boss type mobs. But you know, it wasn't until about 3 months into the campaign that I realized that I had made a character that wasn't very fun to play with. And so later on, I politely asked my DM multiple times over multiple months if I could please redo my character, because I really didn't feel like I was giving anybody else a chance to do damage. Like, what I was doing wasn't fun for anybody but me. And the other players in my group were, I'm 21, and the other players in my group were in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So I was playing with a group of people who were much older than I was and had a much better experience with the game. So they were cool with me playing that character, even though it did that. But I don't know, I felt like a total douche nozzle. So finally my DM caved, and he let me redo my wizard. And so instead of going for the pure damage aspect, I went for a strong control type wizard. And it was at that point that I realized that people like me have to play support classes. People who power game their characters to the point of like near unstoppableness have to play support characters, because when you can destroy a combat encounter by not killing everything, but by neutering enemies so much that they don't even pose a threat to your team anymore, and just watch as your teammates beat the piss out of them, there is nothing more awesome than that. So I made my wizard a complete control type wizard, and so we were infiltrating this orc keep, and this orc keep was led by a big bad mofo of a general, and to the point where this general was so powerful that he could have one-shotted me, and he could have probably three-shotted our fighter, which is, for those of you guys who don't know, like the beefy guy who takes all the damage. A lot of times is called the tank. And he was just a mean mofo. So we were trying to infiltrate this keep. There was a huge army of orcs, but we had like a small army of Templars and Paladins, soldiers and stuff, non-player characters behind us. So when we finally got in there, we were pushed back pretty effectively. We were knocked out, and so we decided to do a missile barrage on the place and see if we couldn't get some people dead. Now, it was at this point that I realized that I wish I hadn't banned my damage school. See, because wizards can specialize in a certain school, but to do that they have to a school of magic, and each different spell is like, you know, from a different school of magic, and my control spells were obviously not from the same school as my damage spells. So I got rid of my damage spell school to specialize in control, and it was at that point that I was like, fuck, I'm completely useless when it comes to dealing damage. So we had our archer ranger, and he was a fucking beast. And he was like, I'm going to fire some arrows into the keep. The DM was like, alright, roll your attack roll, which for those of you who don't know is rolling to see if you hit. And he rolled a natural 20. And that means that you automatically hit something. And he was like, so did I hit the big guy? He was like, no, you didn't hit the big guy, but you did hit a smaller orc. And he was like, well, can I roll to see if I hit the big guy? So he did. Motherfucker rolled another 20. Hit that goddamn, he hit that orc general right in the fucking eye. And even though it didn't deal a lot of damage, it was really heartening to see him knock an arrow into this dude's face from, like, a long ways away. So, anywho, long story short, the next day, we regrouped and infiltrated this orc camp, and we came in full force this time. And my group, who were the only player characters, so they were far more powerful than the non-player soldiers and Templars and stuff that we had with us. My group went right after the general and his little group of minions and stuff. And we went in there, and I was like, it was my first time getting to use my control wizard, and I knew some shit was going to be awesome. I was going to destroy this general in a way that I hadn't destroyed fucking any other mob in the game. I was going to make him look stupid. And this DM that I was playing with loved this general. He wanted to break it out on us so bad. And so when we finally got there, combat started. I cast a spell called Glitter Dust. And what Glitter Dust does is it blinds you. And when you're blind, you basically can't hit shit. So I neutered this general to the point where he could do nothing but stand there and swing wildly. The next round I cast Grease. Grease made him fall on the ground. So now he's swinging wildly and can't stand up. So we're just literally going to town beating this dude to death with no fear of dying. And it was awesome. It was awesome for me to see the look on my DM's face when he realized that he wasn't going to be able to use this character. He wasn't going to be able to use this orc general who he had been, like, so excited about using. And it was so badass, man. So then finally Glitter Dust wore off, and he was like, yes, alright, it was my turn again, and then right after me, the orc general was going to go, and he was going to one-shot me. And it was at that point that I said, I cast Glitter Dust again. And you should have seen the look on his face. He was so, like, he was pissed and excited, and I don't even know, man. It was awesome. So I neutered him again, completely blind. We beat this general to death. It was nothing. It was nothing, dude. Like, this guy who was supposed to be so strong turned out to be just a little shit. Guys, thanks for watching. This has been Grilled Cheese. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear more about D&D, post a comment about it. Grilled Cheese here, signing out.